1. Proprioception. Close your eyes and touch your nose with your finger. Easy, right? But how did you do it without looking? This is the proprioception, the internal GPS that tells you the position of each body part in space. Without it, walking would be like trying to play Twister blindfolded on roller skates. This perception comes from special receptors called proprioceptors located in muscles, tendons, and joints. They send constant signals to the brain about tension, angle, and movement. It's a feedback system so fast that you can adjust your step in the middle of a stumble. Impact. When proprioception fails, the result is dramatic. Patients with neuropathy who lose this sense can barely stand, even with normal vision. It's as if the body has lost its internal map. Fun fact, athletes and dancers train their proprioception intensely without realizing it. Every jump, turn, or kick depends on this eyeless vision. Without it, the body would be nothing more than a bunch of uncoordinated muscles. And if proprioception tells you where you are, the next sense reveals something even more fundamental, keeping you upright against gravity. 2. Balance. The secret to not falling with every step is hidden inside our ears. The vestibular system is like a biological gyroscope made of fluid-filled semicircular canals and microscopic sensors. Whenever you move your head, this fluid shifts, activating cells that inform the brain of its position relative to gravity. Impact. Without this system, we become completely disoriented. People with vestibular defects feel like the world is constantly spinning, as if they're stuck on an endless roller coaster. Fun fact, astronauts suffer from this condition in space. Without gravity to guide fluid through the canals, the vestibular system malfunctions, causing intense nausea. It's the famous space sickness. This sense is so sharp that gymnasts and fighter pilots train to control vertigo, using the vestibular as an internal navigation sensor. Science proves that inside your head there's literally a natural accelerometer. And if this sensor keeps you from falling, the next sense makes sure you know when you're burning or freezing. 3. Thermoception. If you've ever touched cold metal in the winter, you know. Our bodies detect temperature changes in a matter of milliseconds. That's the job of thermoception, sensors called thermoreceptors scattered throughout the skin that tell the brain when something is too hot or too cold. Impact. Without this sense, we would be in constant danger. People with rare neuropathies who lose thermoception can get severely burned without realizing it. For them, fire doesn't hurt and ice doesn't bother them until it's too late. Fun fact, there is even a thermal illusion called thermal grill. When you touch a grid with alternating hot and cold bars, the brain mixes the signals and produces the sensation of burning pain, even though there is not enough heat to cause a burn. This sense is vital not only for survival but also for daily comfort. Feeling the cool wind on your face, the warm water in the shower, or the warmth of the sun. It's the body translating thermal energy into experience. And if it's already strange to feel heat and cold, imagine feeling something invisible, time passing inside your head. 4. Chronoception. Have you ever noticed how the minutes seem to fly by when you're having fun and they drag by in a boring line? It's the work of chronoception, the mysterious sense of time. Our brain doesn't have a physical clock, but rather circuits in the prefrontal cortex and basal ganglia that function as internal timekeepers. Impact. This perception is so vital that animals and humans depend on it for survival. If a predator takes half a second to attack, the victim needs to calculate that interval to react. Without chronoception, we wouldn't be able to cross streets, talk, or even dance to the beat of music. Fun fact. Emotions distort time. Fear can slow perception, making seconds seem like minutes, while pleasurable moments compress time. It's as if we have elastic lenses in our brains, adjusting the passage of our internal clock. Researchers believe that the biological clock also interacts with the circadian rhythm, which explains the famous jet lag. In other words, your mind doesn't just measure time, it senses it. And if it's already impressive to feel the passage of time, it's even stranger to perceive the invisible chemistry that runs through your blood. 5. Chemical balance. You don't think about breathing, but your body is constantly monitoring when to inhale or exhale. This is possible thanks to chemoreceptors, sensors located in the brainstem and arteries that detect carbon dioxide levels in the blood. When CO2 rises too high, they trigger the alarm. Breathe now. Impact. This mechanism is so powerful that, in freedivers, the limit isn't the lack of oxygen, but rather the buildup of CO2. The sensation of suffocation comes from these sensors screaming before the oxygen actually runs out. Fun fact: experiments show that breathing into paper bags can reduce anxiety attacks precisely because it momentarily alters the CO2 balance and calms chemical receptors. The body interprets this chemical as a sense of security. Without these sensors, we might simply forget to breathe, and we wouldn't last more than a few minutes. It's the invisible chemistry keeping life on autopilot. But if it's already fascinating to feel molecules in your blood, get ready. Perhaps we also have a hidden sense that perceives something cosmic, the Earth's magnetic fields. 6. Magnetoception. Some animals, like migratory birds and sea turtles, use Earth's magnetic fields as a natural compass. But what about humans? Recent research suggests that yes, we may have a subtle way of magnetoception. In experiments, volunteers placed in controlled chambers showed altered brain activity when magnetic fields were manipulated. They didn't consciously feel anything, but their brains registered the change, as if there were a hidden compass within their neurons. Impact. If confirmed, this would change the way we understand human orientation. Perhaps that direction instinct some people swear they have isn't just luck, but a forgotten biological ability. Curiosity. Proteins called cryptochromes, present in our eyes, are candidates for this hidden sense. Interestingly, they are the same molecules that birds use to guide themselves on long migrations. We may never have the precision of a homing pigeon, but the idea of carrying a silent biological compass inside our heads shows how little we still know about our hidden senses. See in the next video. Cold is one of the deadliest forces the human body can face. At 32 degrees, water freezes. But your body starts shutting down long before that,